Have you ever noticed how the tiniest things can become the biggest problems when emotions run high? A missing photo album, a favorite watch, or just the question of who gets what. Families that once gathered joyfully around the same table can suddenly find themselves in silence or worse, in court, because someone didn't leave behind clear instructions. And no one ever expects it to happen in their family, until it does. If you're over 70, you've likely seen it unfold. Somewhere close to home, maybe a friend passed and their kids started arguing within days, or a cousin assumed they'd inherit something, only to be left out entirely because a will hadn't been updated in years. It's heartbreaking to watch. But the good news is, it's completely preventable. This conversation matters more than most people realize. Because at this stage of life, clarity isn't just kindness, it's protection. Protection for the people you love, the values you worked for, and the peace you want to leave behind. And don't worry, this isn't going to be some dry legal lecture. We're going to keep it simple, human, and incredibly practical. You'll walk away from this knowing the exact blind spots that catch most people off guard and how to fix them quickly. So if you care about your legacy, your loved ones, and a drama-free future for your family, stay with me. Because what we're about to unpack could save your kids years of stress, and maybe even keep your family together. Before we dive in, if you appreciate videos like this, ones that help you make smarter decisions about life, health, and aging well, take a second to subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment. It means the world to me, and honestly, it fuels this community of wise, kind-hearted folks just like you. And if something we say resonates today, give it a like and share it with a friend who might need this too. Let's help each other avoid unnecessary heartache. And as always, leave a comment if there's a topic you'd love to hear more about. Your voice truly shapes what we do next. All right, let's start with the first reason your will might need an urgent update. You've had a major change in your family. Maybe a grandchild was born. Maybe someone you named in your original will has passed away. Or maybe, like many people, your relationships have simply shifted with time. The person you trusted deeply 10 years ago may no longer be the one you'd want handling your affairs today. It's natural. Life changes, and your documents should reflect that. Here's the risk. If your will still names someone who's no longer present, or worse, no longer trustworthy, they could legally be handed control over parts of your estate. And while they may not mean harm, a lot can go wrong with the wrong person at the wheel. Unpaid bills, missed deadlines, even assets going to the wrong people. Updating your will after a life event is like updating the map before a road trip. It doesn't take long, but it saves everyone from getting lost. And then there's something most people overlook, especially in tight-knit families: informal promises. You may have said, "That ring is going to Emily," or "Your brother knows the cottage is yours someday." But unless it's written into your will, those words can vanish the moment you're not there to repeat them. And sadly, people remember things differently when grief enters the picture. So here's something to consider right now. Is there anything you've promised, even in passing, that's not clearly written down? Because writing it down doesn't just settle the question, it honors the person you intended it for. There's something most people don't think about when writing a will. And that's how much the law itself can change over time. Tax laws shift, inheritance rules evolve, even how digital assets are handled. Things like your online banking, photos, or social media can be treated very differently now than they were just a few years ago. So here's the second urgent reason to revisit your will. Your documents may no longer match current laws. Let me put it this way. A will you wrote back in 2000 might be written in a language the courts no longer understand. Or worse, it might overlook whole categories of assets that didn't even exist back then. Think about your online accounts and streaming services, cloud storage, email. If no one knows where those passwords live, or who has permission to access them, it creates a mess you didn't intend. And it's not just tech. In many places, inheritance taxes and probate rules have changed drastically over the past decade. That means what you intended to leave behind might get eaten up by delays, fees, or taxes if your documents aren't updated. And the kicker, most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to fix it while you still can. That brings us to the third big reason, and this one hits closer to the heart. Maybe your financial situation has changed. You downsized your home. Or maybe you inherited something yourself. Maybe you've sold property, opened new accounts, or helped a family member with a large loan. These changes all have ripple effects, especially if your original will is still dividing up the old picture. Think about it. If you once planned to leave equal shares of a house that's now gone, or accounts that have shifted, your family might be left sorting through confusion, disappointment, or worse, resentment. And that's the very thing you're trying to avoid by having a will in the first place. It doesn't take much. One vague sentence about dividing everything equally can cause 5 very different interpretations and 5 very hurt feelings. But when the financial picture is clear and your intentions are written in plain, simple terms, it brings peace instead of tension, certainty instead of questions, relief instead of regret. Now, here's something I want you to try. A little mental check-in. Picture one item or one account you know has changed in your life over the past 3 years. Maybe it's your savings, your home, a family heirloom. Ask yourself, is this reflected in my current will? Would the person I want to receive it know that I meant it for them? If the answer is no, this is your gentle nudge to take the next step. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Just start with one update, one clarification, one conversation. It makes all the difference. And while you're thinking about that, let me just pause to thank you for being someone who cares deeply about leaving behind not just money or things, but order, love, and clarity. That matters more than most people realize. Now that we've looked at changes in your family, shifts in the law, and how your financial picture may no longer match what's on paper, let's talk about a truth that often sits quietly in the background, even when no one brings it up out loud. Sometimes relationships change. That's the fourth urgent reason your will may need updating, because the people in your life today might not be the same people you wrote into your plans 20 years ago. And that's okay. Life evolves. Families grow, drift, reconnect, shift. People reveal more of who they really are. Some become closer than ever. Others, not so much. You might have someone in your will who, frankly, hasn't been a real part of your life in a decade. Or someone you love deeply now. Maybe a daughter-in-law who's become like a daughter, or a grandchild who's grown into your caregiver, isn't even mentioned in your documents. Here's what I've seen happen too many times. Someone passes, and the people left behind say, "Why did she include him?" Or "Why didn't she include me?" That question lingers. It hurts. It starts fights that never needed to happen. And sometimes the person who actually mattered most to you ends up with nothing. Not because you didn't love them, but because the paper didn't reflect your heart anymore. That's why a will isn't just about money. It's about meaning. It's a mirror of your current life. A love letter to the people who matter most to you now, not the people who mattered a long time ago. Think of it like this. You wouldn't keep an old phone number for someone who moved 3 times. So why keep outdated instructions for the most important decisions of your life? And if there's someone you've grown apart from, maybe a child you rarely speak to, or a friend you once trusted who broke that trust, it's okay to change your mind. You have the right to rewrite your legacy in a way that feels fair, honest, and true to where you are today. It's not about revenge or drama. It's about clarity and kindness. And here's the part most people don't realize. When you don't make those updates, you're leaving your loved ones in a guessing game. And that game? It rarely ends well, because the courts don't know your story. They only know what's written down. They don't know who sat with you during chemo. They don't know who called you every Sunday. They don't know who was absent when you needed them most. They just follow the document. So if your will still speaks for people you no longer trust, or stays silent about people you now cherish, it's time to give it a voice that actually sounds like yours again. Now, before we move on, I want to thank you again. truly, for sticking with this conversation, for being open to a topic most people avoid until it's too late. It shows strength, shows wisdom, and it shows heart. Because this isn't just about protecting your estate, it's about protecting your people. And if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming life-changing topics. We talk about the things that matter most: health, legacy, connection, and dignity. Thank you for being part of this community. Your presence here means more than you know. If you're finding this video helpful, give it a like, and feel free to share it with someone you care about. You never know who needs to hear this message today. And please, drop a comment if there's a topic you'd love us to explore next. We really do read them. All right, we've walked through some powerful reasons to revisit your will, ones that deal with real-life changes: your family, your finances, the law, and your relationships. But there's one more reason left, one that's more practical than emotional, but just as urgent if you want to avoid chaos later. Let's bring this home with a reason that may not tug at your heart the way the last one did, but it absolutely matters when it comes to peace of mind. The fourth reason to update your will is logistics. The fine print, the nitty-gritty, the stuff that doesn't feel emotional, but can make or break everything when the time comes. You'd be amazed how many people name an executor who's no longer alive, or moved to a new state, and don't realize the laws around wills and probate are completely different. Or maybe you had a lawyer draw up your will 20 years ago, and now you can't even remember where the document is. Here's the thing: a will is only as useful as it is clear, current, and easy to act on. And when it's not, that's when the mess starts. A friend of mine, her name is Donna, lost her mother last year. Her mom had a will, which is great, except the executor she had chosen was an old friend who had moved across the country and lost touch. Nobody had their number. The will didn't include an alternate, so the court had to get involved. It took 9 months to sort things out. Meanwhile, Donna had to cover funeral costs out of pocket, and her siblings started arguing about everything from jewelry to funeral arrangements, not because they were greedy, but because there was no clarity. All of it could have been avoided if her mom had taken just one afternoon to update a few lines. So here's a moment of reflection I want to offer you today. Take a quiet hour this week, grab a notebook and ask yourself, does my will still match my life? Are the people listed still the right people? Is my executor still capable, nearby, and willing? Does my state require anything specific now that I didn't include back then? And one more thing, where is your will? Not in theory, but in practice. Is it in a drawer your kids can access? Do they know it exists? Does your spouse know where it is? Because even the most beautifully written document can't protect your wishes if it's buried in a forgotten folder or locked in a safe no one has the code to. It's not about being morbid. It's about being wise. It's about giving a gift to your loved ones. A gift of less confusion, fewer arguments, and more time to grieve, to reflect, and to remember you with love, instead of being buried in paperwork and probate stress. And if you're still with me now, I want you to take a deep breath with me, because I know this topic can stir up emotion, maybe regret, maybe urgency, maybe a little overwhelm. That's okay. It just means you care. It means your legacy matters to you. And that's beautiful. Before we wrap up, if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another video like this. We tackle the things no one talks about: quiet worries, hard truths, and simple steps to make life better after 60. If today's message struck a chord, give it a like, and please consider sharing it with someone in your circle. You never know how far one helpful message can ripple out. And don't forget, leave a comment below with the topics you want help with. Whether it's health, legacy planning, relationships, or the emotional side of aging, we're here for all of it. Your voice matters in this community. Now, as you close this video, I want you to walk away not with pressure, but with clarity. The kind that sparks a quiet, powerful decision to protect the people you love, and to speak clearly for yourself, even when you're no longer around to do it in person. That's not just smart. That's love in action. If you've stayed with me this far, I want to say something simple, but deeply felt. Thank you. Not just for watching, but for caring enough to think about the future, to plan ahead, and to make life easier for the people you love. That takes courage. It takes heart. And most of all, it takes wisdom. You see, updating your will after 70 isn't about fear. It's about freedom. It's about saying, I've lived a good life and I want the people I care about to carry forward not just my things, but my peace. Because that's what a thoughtful will really is. Peace on paper. Now let's reflect for a moment. We've talked about how outdated wills can cause real tension between family members. Siblings who used to get along suddenly locked in arguments because something wasn't clearly stated. We've talked about how changes in your family, new marriages, grandchildren, even divorces, deserve to be reflected in the documents that speak for you when you can't. We've explored how medical events can shift your priorities overnight, and how crucial it is to ensure your executor, your plans and your wishes are current, clear, and actionable. These aren't just legal details. These are acts of love. And the truth is, the sooner you take care of these updates, the lighter you'll feel. I've seen it time and again. People who finally sit down with their attorney, revisit what they've written, maybe adjust a few things, and when they walk out of that office, they breathe deeper. They sleep better. They know they've done what so many people avoid until it's too late. You don't have to do it all in one day. You don't have to have every answer yet. But even booking that call, even starting the list of questions you need to ask, it's forward motion. And forward motion is what keeps us alive, no matter our age. Now, before we wrap up, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss another episode that could quietly change your life. If this topic helped you or got you thinking, hit like, and if someone you love needs to hear this, share it with them. Maybe it's your sibling, maybe it's a friend. Sometimes it just takes a gentle nudge to help someone start a powerful conversation. And we would be honored if you left a comment below. What part of this resonated with you? What part of your legacy are you ready to protect? Or even, what do you wish you'd known sooner? Your story might be the one that helps someone else feel seen. Let's build this community one thoughtful decision at a time. Because remember, this season of life, it's not about fading away. It's about shaping how you're remembered and how you protect the people you love long after you're gone. You've already taken a step in that direction just by being here. So here's to you, to the decisions that matter, and to the peace that comes from knowing your legacy is in good hands. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.